Hi folks, this is Michael, and this video is about WooCommerce and how to set it up on your WordPress website. Now, I am going to create a new website on a domain that I own and kind of start from the beginning here with installing WordPress and choosing a e-commerce theme to use with WooCommerce. So I am within Wealthy Affiliate, and this is what I use to create my websites, among other things, and it's very easy to use. You just go to the site builder, and you want to build a website, and I'm going to do it on a domain I own. You do get free domains, but I'm going to do this on a domain that I own. I have a little test subdomain that I'm going to use, and I'm just going to call this my test WooCommerce site. Okay, and then we want to choose a theme. Now we want an e-commerce theme, so in the search criteria, I'm going to put in e-commerce, and this will show me all the themes that are e-commerce based. So I'm just going to scroll through here, find something that looks good to me, and for this purpose, it can really be anything, but I'm going to just pick this one, and then I'm going to click here to build the site, and Wealthy Affiliate does this pretty quick. As you can see, this is all real time, and it's happening here in real time, and it's already on step 5 by 5 of 5. So we will let it build this site, and then we'll log into it. Okay, now that our website is built, we want to go to the WP login page for your website, and you're going to type in admin, and then you're going to put in your password, and I've copied my password from my Wealthy Affiliate website builder, and you're going to log in. You can click remember me if you want to, but in most cases, if you're on Chrome or Internet Explorer, it's going to remember your login credentials anyway if you have that set. So here we are at the basic WordPress site. There's nothing here that you wouldn't see on any other WordPress site when you first create it. There's only the test pages and test posts, like our sample page, and we can just trash the sample page. And privacy policy, we want to leave the draft there because you're going to want to have your own privacy policy. So we'll leave that there. And then as far as our posts, we don't really want hello world, so we'll get rid of that. Okay, and then to start off with, we're going to go to plugins, and we're going to do add new, and we're going to install the WooCommerce plugin. So over in your search plugins, type in WooCommerce. Mine is already listed down here, so I'm just going to click on that. And when you type in WooCommerce, you'll see the WooCommerce plugin come up here. Now you also see like the Stripe payment gateway and stuff like that. And you don't have to worry about that. You just want the plain WooCommerce. Click install now. Okay, so once WooCommerce finishes installing, it's going to change this install button to an activate button. So a little side note here, if this is the first time that you've tried to install WooCommerce, it's going to take you through an automated setup procedure. If you've installed WooCommerce before, even if you've deleted the plugin or you've installed it and deactivated it, you're not going to see the automated setup screen that it takes you through. So I'm going to activate it. We're going to see the automated setup screen, and I'll walk you through that, and then we'll go to the main setup screen, which is what you would see if this is like the second time you try to install it or something. So here it is in the automated setup screen, and then of course you're just going to select the options for your site. Mine would be in the United States, and you're going to put in your address, city, state, zip. You choose your payment currency. If it's not a US dollar, if you're in the UK or something, pick that. And then pick the type of products you wish to sell. If you want to do both physical and digital, you would choose that. For the purposes of this video, we're focusing on digital products, so I'm going to select I plan to sell on digital products. And I'm not selling products in person, so I'm not going to check that box. So we're going to pick let's go. Oh, well, it wants an address, so let me type in something like my address and my city, choose a state. So it's going to make you put this stuff in here. So here we go. So now it's going to come up to your payment screen, and it's going to want you to enable the types of payments that you want to receive. Typically, these are only going to be PayPal. It's going to put your default email address that you created your site under in these automatically. If you want to use Apple Pay, you can turn that on. There's a few requirements for that, so if you're not familiar with Apple Pay, I wouldn't select that option. I'm going to turn it off. I only want PayPal, and these are for offline payments down here, so we don't want to mess with those. We're not doing any kind of offline payments. And we're going to do continue. And it's going to take you to the next screen here. Okay, so now it's going to give us some recommended features to add to your store. So I'm not going to do this automated taxes thing. WooCommerce is going to calculate your taxes. I'm not going to do automated taxes because it requires the services of Jetpack. And Jetpack is a cool little add-on, but it adds a lot of overhead to your website. It can slow down your website, and it also requires that it can make a connection to your WordPress account as well to get information. So it's doing a lot of transfer of information back and forth between your site and the WordPress site. And it's got a lot of bloat in it. It's just got a lot of stuff, a lot of features, and it just can slow down your site. Now, your other features, you can install Facebook. I'm not really going to put that there because a lot of times you're doing marketing yourself on Facebook. So you can put that here, but it also hooks into Jetpack, so I'm not going to select that. MailChimp is a automated email software. It's free. However, it does the same thing as Aweber or GetResponse, so any of those paid services. So if you already have that, there wouldn't be any need for MailChimp. And if you're not going to manage any email campaigns from within your e-commerce website, you don't need this. So I'm not going to put that on here either. We're just going to go straight WooCommerce with none of these features. We're going to do continue. And just as a side note, while we're waiting here, on your PayPal, you need to have a business account. So if you don't already have a PayPal business account, you want to upgrade or create a PayPal business account. You can upgrade your personal account if you want to. It doesn't require that you have an actual business name or that you actually be incorporated or anything like that. You can be a DBA, and you could also be a sole proprietor and just use your own name or a trade name that you want to use, and continue to use your personal bank account if you want to do that as well. So that's not a big deal. Just make sure you do it before we get into the actual configuration part of WooCommerce. So here it's bringing us to the Jetpack screen, and we're not going to install Jetpack. We're going to skip that step. Okay, and now of course it's saying that we're ready to start selling. So if you want to get product updates and other insightful emails, you can say yes, please do that. If you want to go straight to creating products, you can do that as well. For this video, we're going to just go straight to the dashboard, and it's going to just take us into our regular WordPress dashboard. You're going to see some stuff about PayPal smart buttons and stuff like that, and you can just kind of ignore that at this point. We're not going to mess with Jetpack. So a couple notes here. If we go look at our pages now that we've installed WooCommerce, we'll see that we now have a cart page, a checkout page, a My Account, and a shop page already set up for you. And those are integrated into WooCommerce, so we're going to actually use these pages. And they can be customized if you want to customize them. So the first thing we're going to do is go to WooCommerce Settings. Now, if you installed the WooCommerce plugin for the second time and you didn't get that initial quick setup screen, this is the screen that you're going to have to go to. You'll install the plugin and it'll come straight back to your dashboard. So you'll come here to WooCommerce Settings, and then of course in your General tab you're going to have the information. It's either going to be blank or it's going to be populated with that quick setup that it took you through. And you'll just put in all your information there. If you're going to be taxing or your goods are taxable, then you want to enable tax rates and calculations. If you wish to have coupons, you can select that as well. And there's a place over here to manage coupons. And then this is just a coupon option to calculate discounts sequentially. So, and that just depends on how you're going to set up your site. You can check it or not check it. And of course, the rest of the options for your currency. So we'll save our changes. And we will go to the next screen, which is going to be products. In our product screen, it's going to ask, what do you want your shop page to be? And it's automatically going to default to the shop page that it's created. And that's the one I would use at first. If you plan on customizing it later, you can customize your shop page and choose a different page just by coming back to these settings. Cart behavior just allows you to redirect the cart page after a successful addition. You can do that if you wish or not do that. And then, of course, a placeholder image if you don't have a image for your product. Measurements and dimensions are for physical products, so you really won't need to change anything there. Enable reviews and product ratings. You can set those according to how you want your site to operate. We'll save the pages, save the changes there. And it is important to save changes at the end of every one of the pages. So we're going to go to the tax tab now. And these are our tax options, and just gives options for whether or not you want the prices to be inclusive of tax or exclusive. Most of the time they're going to be exclusive. You're going to calculate tax based on, usually the customer's shipping or billing address. And of course, shipping tax class is going to be standard in most cases based on cart items. Okay, you don't need to do any rounding in most cases. You don't need any additional class taxes in most cases. This is for the displaying of tax on your shopping page, whether you want your items to be shown including tax or excluding tax. So usually they're just shown as their base price without tax. So display tax totals, you can choose to show the itemized or as a single total. Now I would usually do it as a single total. We'll save our changes. And then we'll go to the shipping tab, which is really not going to apply to us because we have a digital product and we're not going to set up any shipping zones. So we'll skip that for this training and we'll go to payments. All right, so in payments, we chose PayPal. And again, if you didn't go through that quick setup at the beginning, this won't be enabled and it'll just say setup. So you'll turn it on and then this will change to manage. And you'll click on manage. And this is where you're going to need some information from your PayPal account. And remember, it has to be a business account, and if you haven't done so, you'll need to either create or upgrade your account to a business account. So on this page, we have the option of selecting our environment to be either a live or a sandbox. Sandbox is simply a test environment, and you can get credentials from PayPal for both live and sandbox. I would advise that you use the sandbox first and do some test purchases and make sure that they're going through PayPal. So for now, I'm just going to choose live for the training here. And you're going to click this link to put the manual API credentials in. So when you click it, you're either going to see a live or a sandbox API username, password, and signature. So to get these, you're going to have to go over to PayPal, and I'll show you that as well. Okay, so here we are at our PayPal page. I've logged in here, and what you're going to want to do in your business account is click on Tools, All Tools, and then All Tools, you're going to see a bunch of stuff here, but what we really want is this API credentials, which is towards the bottom of the screen in most cases. So we'll click on that, and then the credentials we're going to want to use are going to be this MVP SOAP API integration, which is the classic. So we're going to do Manage API Credentials, and on this screen, it will allow you to see your API username, password, and signature. Now, I'm not going to click on Show. For my instance, I don't want to show my information here, but what you'll do is just click on Show and then just copy the text like this, copy, and then go back over to your WooCommerce and then paste in the username, the password, and the signature. Okay, now these will all be different. You'll have to go back here and show each one, copy it, and paste it in here. I've just copied the same thing in here just for training purposes. You don't need a live API certificate, so you should be good there. Now, of course, your brand name, you would want to give a brand if you, these are digital downloads, so you would put your brand in here. And I'm just going to type in my digital stuff. And your brand, of course, is going to be your business brand. You can add a logo image and just select an image. That's usually a good thing. So I'm just going to select something here and put that in there. So use this image, and there it is. And you can remove it or update it, whatever you need to do. And of course, you can add a header image, and it tells you the size it needs to be if you want to have a header image. Page styles are optional. Of course, your landing page, you want to be the PayPal login account page. And from there, your customers will have the ability to either log into PayPal and pay for their product, or they can simply enter their credit card as a guest and put their information in like that. Debugging is only if you have problems. You can enable debugging. It'll create a debug file that you would supply to whoever is helping you debug your website or your WooCommerce. Login prefix is just what you want included in the beginning of your invoice. So this is just in here for WC WooCommerce. You can put in whatever you like, or just leave it as that. Whatever works for your website. So you can also put in to require a billing address, which you're typically going to check. Require a phone number, you can check that as well. And then, of course, payment action, it's going to be sale. And then instant payments is another option. You can require instant payments. Most of the time you don't need to check that one. All right, so the other are just the button colors, layouts, and so on, and you can choose those to suit your needs on your website. Everything else just is pretty self-explanatory, pretty standard. Just select the options to suit your needs, and then save changes. And from there, we'll go to the accounts and privacy page. And this, of course, is where it's important to have your privacy policy. So you'd go back and update that draft privacy policy page with your actual privacy policy. And these are your options for checkout. You can force customers to log in and create an account if you want to, or you can let them do it as a guest. These are the options for erasing personal data. You want to be careful with those, because once you erase them, the information is gone. Then, of course, your privacy policy information is here. You can change this to suit your needs on your website. And then your data retention periods. How long do you want to retain inactive accounts? how long do you want to retain pending orders, failed orders, canceled orders, and so on. So you select these to suit your needs. If you leave them blank, it's going to retain them forever. So you want to set something there because you don't want to retain all this information forever. It's not good for privacy. And if you don't need to retain the records, then there's no need to retain them. Your completed order information, you can retain as long as you wish, or you can get a report. There's some reporting plugins you can use to get a report of your orders and put that in a spreadsheet or whatever you need to do with it. So we'll save our changes here. And then we'll go to the emails tab. And now these are the emails that are sent to you and your customer. So you're going to receive an email for a new order, a canceled order, failed order. Everything else is sent to the customer. So this has to do with completed orders, refunded orders, and you can manage each one of these. An order on hold, you can enable it or disable it. For a downloadable product, you're probably not going to use that. So make the changes to suit your needs, and then just save each one and go through and edit each one of them as you need to. So next we'll go to the Advanced tab. And then here it just puts, you select your cart page, checkout page, my account page, and so on. Checkout endpoints, these all have to be unique, and typically you can just use the default. And once again, if you customize any of your pages, you want to come up here and change it to your customized page. Other than that, these are default endpoints. They all have to be different. If you modify these or change them, then you put your changed endpoint in here. And usually, like I said, you won't need to do that unless you're an advanced WooCommerce user. So we save those changes, and you are done with the basic setup of WooCommerce. So from there, let's see, we'll go to our products. And this is where you add all your products. Now you can add your products in a comma delimited file. If you have that ability to create a comma delimited file with all the product information, you can do that. You can go to the WooCommerce website at WordPress.org, and you can get all the information about how you create a CSV file or a comma delimited file with all your data. Otherwise, you can add them individually, and you just do create product. And you can create templates when you create your products to make it quicker. But aside from that, you're going to have to enter the information manually. So I don't think I clicked on that. Here we go. All right, so we're going to create a product, and I'm just going to call it My Downloadable Product. And you want to put a description of your product in here. Typically, you're going to put a good, description, a couple hundred words long. If you're SEOing your entries on your website, like your posts, product descriptions, you want to, put your keyword in there if you have one. And then as far as the other options, you're going to put the price, and I'm just going to say $49.95. I'm going to put a sale price of $39.95. And you don't have to put a sale price. I mean, if there's no sale price on your product, just leave the regular price in there and the sale price blank. And then, of course, if it's taxable, you're going to choose taxable, and of course the tax class, which, again, typically is going to be standard. And here's a place to put your product short description, which again, I'm just going to put My Downloadable Product. Okay. And then over on the right-hand side over here, we have categories. Now, by default, the only thing you're going to have is uncategorized, which you don't want. You want to actually add some categories, and I'm just going to put some in here. I'll call one pictures. I'll add that category, and then I'll add another one called, let's see, music. I'll add that. And then if you know what all your categories are, you can just keep adding them here. Or you can go over to the left-hand side over here and add your categories there, whichever one you want to do. So then I'm going to add video. All right, for this one, I'm just going to make it a music file. I'm going to put it in the music category. And then parent category is if you want items listed under a parent, like pictures, and maybe pictures of dogs, pictures of cats, pictures of people, you know, whatever type of pictures they are. And then the next thing is going to be your product tags. So I'm just going to say music videos, and I'll add that. And then you can add other tags in here as well. Anything that is peculiar to your downloads that you would want people to be able to pull up in a search, you'll put those tags in there. Okay, and then you'll want a product image. So I'm just going to pick that one image that I imported before. Just give it an image, and that should represent the actual product. And that's pretty much it for adding a product. So from there, if you want to work on it later, you can save it as a draft. Otherwise, you can publish it. And I'm going to publish this one product here just so we can see what it looks like. And once your product's published, it's going to show up on your shop page. So if I were to look at my website, I'm just going to go over here to customize so I can get a picture of what our website looks like. And so this is our basic website. We haven't added anything in here as far as comments or archives. And if you don't want these things, you can remove them via your widgets. But if I go to my shop page, you will see that we now have one product there. And you can sort products. And of course, you can choose categories as well. So you can add a category icon up top and list all your categories, or you can choose categories over here and list your categories there, and then choose the category. Now you see our price is $49.95 and $39.95, and on sale at $39.95. And from there, when you highlight it, you can add to cart. Okay, and our cart now has an item. It shows 3 items in there. Let's see what we got. Okay, so there, well, I've got 5. I don't want 5, I only want 1. So we'll apply that, update our cart. And we got 1 product for $39.95. So from there, wasn't any tax on this, so we'll proceed to checkout, and you can go straight to PayPal, or you can go to PayPal credit. So that's the way your cart works. Now what you're going to want to do is customize the rest of your website. Okay, so you want to customize how it looks, these widgets over here, whether you want comments, which you probably will because you want to talk about your products. You want to SEO your website so that it ranks in Google and get on the first page for your keywords that are associated with your products and your website. So you just adjust those to according to what you need for your website. Give your website a valid name, and then set up your menu at the top the way you want it to be. And of course, these are just the basics: my cart, checkout, my account, and shop. So there you have it. These are the basics of setting up WooCommerce on your WordPress website. And hopefully this gives you everything you need to get going with WooCommerce. So if you have any questions, please leave a reply in the box at the bottom of the screen, and I'd be happy to answer any questions or put you in touch with someone who can answer your questions. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.